Hi, this is Jundo. Welcome to Tree Leaf, and this is our fire extinguisher around here. I've never been to a Zen temple anywhere in Japan that didn't have some kind of fire extinguisher around. I mean, those buildings are made of wood. You might think that Buddhist monks would be beyond worrying about such things. Just let what happens happen. If it burns, be one with the flames. Baloney! Those guys take plenty of precautions, and they're smart too. That's our subject today. Catastrophe, disaster, the earthquakes, the floods, the oil spills, the volcanoes. I mean, here in Japan, we get a good shake, a good earthquake about once a month. Sometimes I get under this table. When we used to live in Florida, oh, the hurricanes. And what I'm going to say right now can apply just as well to the little disasters in your life, sometimes the big disasters in your life. But it's the things in this world that we see. How do the Buddhist teachings teach us to approach those, to think of those, to not think of those? Well, for one, and this is one of those things that's kind of hard for people to get their head around sometimes. There is no hurricane. There is no earthquake. There's nothing to shake. There's nothing to burn. There's no flame. No oil. No beach for it to foul. No fish. No birds in its way. Sitting in Zazen, we can drop all names, drop all categories, drop all thoughts of this and that. And then what is there to be lost? What is there to die? What is there? Well, you just have to sit with that for a while and let it be known. In the meantime, take my word on it. And yet, they're all real. You see, Buddhism is always dealing with these very contradictory propositions, contradictory according to Western philosophy, but from an Eastern point of view, they're all true at once. So all these things I mentioned, the hurricanes, the storms, the fires, the pestilence, the plague, it's a dream. Yet they're real. And Buddhism teaches us, from this other perspective, to allow, to be, to drop all resistance, to be at one with it all. When life goes up, go up. When life goes down, goes down. When the earth shakes to the left, go left. When the wind blows you to the right, go right. Again, it's hard for a lot of people to get their heads around this. But this is why we're practicing Buddhism. And how do we practice this? Sitting shikantaza. Not only do we drop names, do we drop categories, do we drop thoughts of this and that and division, we also drop resistance, we drop judgments, we drop the separation between ourself and what is, and it all just is. If it's a sunny day, let it be sunny. If it's a stormy day, let it storm. But there's another perspective too, taught by Buddhism. Though everything I just said is true, there is no storm, there is no fire. Yet we should be one with the storm, we should be one with the fire. Don't be a schmuck. Don't be a fool. Take precautions. Let me give you an example of how this is perhaps true in all our lives when we practice this wonderful practice. When we were in Florida about 4 years ago, we had a year when the hurricanes blew through. And the difference between an earthquake and a hurricane is you get some warning. So when the news came, we're in our house, I have my family. What do? Do I just get in the lotus position and wait? Heck no. Go to the home center. Got some boards, boarded up the windows, got the water, got the candles, got the batteries, made sure the radio was working. You take all the precautions. Get your family safe. We were huddled. We couldn't evacuate to a shelter. We were huddled in the bathroom. I put up the boards on the windows, made sure we had the supplies, the soup, canned soup, and the batteries. And then the storm started to blow through, and there was nothing more to do. Then I sat in the lotus position and let the wind blow. I mean, even as I was preparing, I embraced it all, accepted it all. It was just a storm. Yet I prepared, and when there was nothing more I could do, I threw back my arms, and as if the wind carried me away, I was at the eye of the storm. I was the eye of the storm. The windows were shaking, the walls were bending, the roof, we literally had part of the roof ripped off the place. There was nothing to do. Kind of wished I'd gone to the shelter that night. It was a very long night. And the next day when it was done, we accepted the damage, the fallen trees, the broken windows, the broken roof, and you begin to repair, you begin to clean up. Same with this oil spill. Nothing to do now except learn from it and clean up. This is how Buddhists approach catastrophe. We approach disaster. Embrace it all, accept it all, think of it as a dream, yet avoid what we can and clean up when it's done. One more thing. If we did live a little bit, needing less things, less plastic, less oil, we might avoid some of these disasters too. And if you don't own a lot of things, there's not a lot to lose. So we could lose a lot and be free. Don't get me wrong, I live like many Americans and I'm guilty of having lots of stuff. But I often think that I'm a prisoner of all that stuff. Shall we sit with that?